You could be a pretty woman, you could be a strong woman, you could be a sexy woman, you could be a successful woman, you could be so many other beautiful, you know, descriptive words, superlatives even, but you cannot be an ultimate baddie. You cannot be fully functioning in your glow if you do not have emotional intelligence. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Dyme LaShawn, and we back at it again. If this is your first time here, welcome. Come on in and grab a seat. However, if you are already a part of the Babe Gang, aka someone who's already subscribed, then you already know how we give it up over here. We talk about self-development, lifestyle, and a little beauty, baby, okay? So if that is of interest to you and you're new, this is the perfect time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to do that. You guys are very important to me, so I want to make sure that you're tapping in and we're engaged as possible, so I pretty much know what to give y'all content wise. Okay, so boom, today I'm going to be talking about something that I think is pretty juicy. Okay, and I'm going to be basically talking about my emotional intelligence journey, which will probably shed a little light on my self-awareness journey as well. And I just want to talk a little bit about, you know, why it's important to have it, and like how you really raise your stock as a woman when you have emotional intelligence, like 100%. So this is like not even like, I didn't even like flesh this out at all. This is really just me having like a one-on-one chat with y'all. So I hope that, you know, everything comes out in the way that it's supposed to. But where do I start? Emotional intelligence has been such a crazy ride. It's been a crazy ride. So I decided that I'm just gonna go ahead, I whipped my laptop out, and I decided that I was just gonna go ahead and give you like the 5 components of emotional intelligence. And then I'll talk about like the different things that I've learned on my emotional intelligence journey, and, you know, just kind of like break down my thoughts on some of these things. But the 5 components of emotional intelligence are self-awareness, which I've already mentioned, and that's the ability to recognize and understand your moods and emotions and how they affect others. 2, self-regulation, which is the ability to control impulses and moods and to think before acting. Internal or intrinsic motivation, which is being driven to pursue goals for personal reasons rather than some kind of reward. So, and the opposite of that would be external validation, or external motivation rather. And then 4 would be empathy, the ability to recognize and understand others' motivations, which is essential for building and leading teams successfully, right? And then 5, which would be social skills, the ability to manage relationships and build networks. Okay, so this is like the grade A definition, right? According to, you know, the web, the World Wide Web, okay? So I'm gonna put the computer down. Okay, so I'm back. So y'all, self-awareness being number 1 on that thing makes so much sense. And I'm glad that I read that all first before I got into like the whole like spiel. But whatever the case might be, I used to be a cry baby, okay? If you're into astrology at all, I will lead with saying that I am an Aquarius sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising girly. So there's a lot going on over here. It's like a lot happening. But with that being said, and then I also have a Capricorn stellium. There's a lot going on over here. But what I would say is that with all of that going on, I used to be a crybaby. Like, I used to be in my feels so bad about pretty much every little thing. I was a victim all the time. They've done this to me. How dare you? They want to hurt me, XYZ. And this is primarily in relationships, because I never had those type of feelings about fellow women. I don't know, it's odd, but I just never felt that way about friendships ever. I have never been hyper paranoid about women. Never. It's always been the men, like, and I'm sure it stemmed from childhood or whatever, yada yada. But over the course of like my dating journeys, I used to end up with some bad seeds, okay? And primarily it was because I wasn't self-aware. I wasn't self-aware about how I was pulling these people in. I wasn't self-aware about what their motivations were. I wasn't self-aware about what my motivations were. And that's why I'm so glad that that list has self-awareness at the top, because if you don't know you, then everything else is gonna be in shambles. And all the rest of those different things that they put on that list makes perfect sense, because I can see clearly at this more evolved age, and I'm still evolving every single day, but I can see clearly at this more evolved age as to how I was falling in certain traps and certain pitfalls with certain people and certain situations. It was because there were certain things about me I was not self-aware about that was leading me to be with people who could see me more clearly than I saw myself. And I think I mentioned this on a video before. And with that being said, they had their own personal motivations and I had my own personal motivations. So let me give you an example. So say you're dating someone and you know, this person is like, they're super distant, they don't show you a lot of interaction in terms of like getting to know them, or you know, 1 minute they're all in, they're love bombing you, and the next minute they're pulling all the way back, and it seems like you just fell in love with them immediately. It's like, oh, I just fall in love, oh my God. And you're a pretty nice girl, so you're just putting all the stops. You're just like, oh my God, like, let me show this person why they should pick me or whatever, and why I'm a good catch, and let me show them all these different things, whatever, because it's all about your intent. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's more about the intent and the origination of the thought. And I'll probably do a video on that later. But outside of that, say you're doing all of these different things and you know, it just seems like you just can't quite get to the epicenter of where you're trying to get with this particular person. I will apply how emotional intelligence fits here and exactly why you need it. So if you are not self-aware, then you probably won't realize that you have your own motivations for being with this person and they have their own motivations for being with you. And though it might not feel good, what you're experiencing with this person, you won't leave because you like a certain thing that you are getting. And they won't leave because even though they know that they're probably hurting you or you're not getting what you want from them, they are getting what they want from you. And essentially, chaos ensues. So that's where self-awareness comes in. When you have the intrinsic motivations, that's where what you want to do or what your motivations are for doing whatever you're doing, right? And this comes into when you start becoming intelligent, right? So what is your motivation for being with somebody who doesn't give you what you want? And trying to get them to see that they should give you what you want. What is your motivation for that? Are you trying to undo what someone in the past did to you? Like, oh, I'm gonna make you see that I'm worthy. Pick me so that I can feel worthy because somebody at some point made me feel unworthy. Or is it, I'm a people pleaser and I'm pleasing you because if I'm a people pleaser, then I get to be able to feel needed. And if I don't get what I want, then I get to be able to victimize myself because I've always given you everything that you want. What are your motivations for being with somebody who doesn't give you what you want? You already spoken on it, you already had a conversation about it, and you keep doing it, and they keep showing up, and your excuse is, oh, they keep showing up, of course, because their motivations are not your intrinsic motivations. And so this is where empathy comes in, because empathy is not always, oh, I feel for you, I love you so much. I think that's more compassion. Empathy is more understanding of others, and you can be empathetic without being foolish. You can be empathetic without being emotionally unintelligent. You can understand and be empathetic to the fact that, oh, you have a hole in your heart somewhere because you have a personality disorder. So of course you like super, you know, open and nice and vulnerable women because you can do what you need to do to get your supply with a woman of that caliber. With a woman like me in this situation. You get what I'm saying? Because you would continuously be seeing this person and they wouldn't be giving you anything, and then you're like, oh, well, he keeps coming back, of course, because he's getting what he wants. Whatever that is. And this is not a channel where I'm gonna say good and bad because I feel like that just makes things really, really crazy. But serving and not serving. His motivation for getting what he wants from you and doing what he's doing with you is not the same motivation that you have. But it does feed your ego because it coincides with whatever hole you already have or whatever deficit you're already experiencing. You get what I'm saying? And that's why you would need to be self-aware. You feel me? Because you would have to realize, like, what is it that I keep going back for more for? Why do I like to thrive in pain and chaos and dissatisfaction? Is it because I'm used to it and that's why I keep doing it, or what? So over the years, and this example is perfect because over the years, I had different experiences where I have functioned in dysfunction, where I was like, why do I keep doing that with this? Why do I keep attempting to do XYZ with that? And a lot of the time it was because I was unaware of work that needed to be done. Sometimes you are the problem, sister girl. You're your own problem. Not anyone else's, you're your own problem. Because people gonna take whatever you get. You know how the girlies are outside, like working themselves and starving themselves to death so they can look cute to men. And the thing is, men gonna take whatever they can get. But should you continuously feed yourself crap in order to feed your dysfunction? And when I say feed, I'm not talking about food. I am talking about what you indulge in every day. Should you? No, you shouldn't. And so that's why being emotionally intelligent is paramount. Okay, like, and that is a lot of the time, now that we have like that whole picture and like the journey of what that looked like for me initially, we can start talking about like what emotional intelligence can start with on your journey. Like the question, why do you do what you do? You know what I mean? It's important. Learning your attachment styles. And I'll do a separate video on attachment styles, but learning your attachment styles. Are you anxious? Are you avoidant? Are you anxious avoidant? Are you, you know, like secure? Like which one are you? Because I realized that you can be emotionally intelligent, meaning you are aware, you know what's going on, and still not fully functioning in emotional intelligence. Like, are you fully functioning in that? You can know what's going on and still be not doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And a part of really figuring out how you can combat a lot of the craziness that you'll probably end up finding yourself in when you're not fully functioning in emotional intelligence is learning your attachment style. What's my attachment style? What kind of attachment do I have? Am I super anxious? So I'm always like dating people who are super avoidant so I can chase them, because if I'm not chasing, then I don't feel like I'm doing anything, and then I don't feel like there's anything to complete or there's anything to do. I keep myself busy with pain. Is that it? Did something happen as a child and now you're just like super anxiously, are you okay? Are you okay, baby? Are we okay? Da, da, da. Whatever your attachment style is, not good or bad. It just is. Figuring that out is important. Are you avoidant? You know, something happened in your childhood where a parent made you feel like you were a burden, or, you know, you was in a way, or you were a problem, or something happened traumatic, and so now you act like ain't nothing wrong with you. You don't want to open up. You don't want to be vulnerable for anyone. Everything's just super surface. It's not good or bad. It just is. And figuring that out about yourself will help you to understand why you function in the way that you function, which is a part of emotional intelligence. You won't spend so much time crying about it or feeling like a victim or feeling hurt or feeling scared or feeling lost if you know why you do what you do, even if you haven't quite figured out how to not do it. You get what I'm saying? Calling your power back to yourself is really, really important. And that's how you do it with emotional intelligence. That's how you do it with understanding how you function. And also, in return, you understand that there are people out there that function different from you. You understand that there are people out there that have their own functions and emotional deficits as well. You'll realize, oh, if this person isn't calling me, I probably shouldn't call them. Or if this person isn't, you know, responding in this way, then they probably have other things to do. It's not personal. It just is what it is. Being emotionally intelligent. And that's how you build relationships that make sense. And that was that last thing. The what did they say? What is it? Social skills. Socially being able to say, this person probably has certain motivations that don't align with mine. Or this person is probably doing XYZ because the clues are there. And this isn't personal. This isn't something for me to try to fix in them. This is just the way things are. how you really start to enhance your life, being emotionally intelligent. And I realized this after motioning and after learning and after falling down, scraping my knees and getting back up, and you know, realizing like, hey Dyme, like a lot of this stuff ain't even about you. And I would recommend you guys read the 4 Agreements. And I talked about a couple of books that I really enjoyed recently, but it's important to really figure that out. Like, these people ain't doing what they doing because they hate you. These people are doing what they doing because this is how they function in their lives. This is how they think life is supposed to go. This is how they've needed to live it. Being emotionally intelligent, figuring out what people's motives are, being empathetic to the fact that people are not always going to align with you, and being aware of the fact that you also have your own intrinsic motivations and why you do what you do. And that's why it's important to be on top of it. Maybe I shouldn't be beating this boy's phone down 100 times. If he hasn't answered, he's obviously busy. Maybe he's busy doing another girl. Maybe he's busy doing number 2. I don't know, but it's not for you to be where you at, what you doing. I need to know, da, da, da. Because that only normally pushes people away. Being emotionally intelligent is a power tool for women. Silence is also very important. You don't have to share everything with everyone. And I realized that over the years, being emotionally intelligent, every time that I'm feeling like explosive, I don't need to share that with the person I'm feeling explosive about. Every time that I'm feeling emotionally dysregulated, that's not for me to call someone in and help me with, because that's going to create codependency. That might just be a moment where I need to sit and meditate, or a moment where I need to figure out how to regulate my own emotions and regulate my own nervous system. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like being a woman, being emotionally intelligent has been a power tool for me. Yes, I'm still emotional. Yes, I'm still soft. Yes, I still have feelings, but I'm able to yield those emotions in a way that are healthy. I'm mad right now. You playing with me. I feel played with rather. I don't want to engage right now. Or I had the impulse to punch you in the face, but I'm not going to do it because punching you in the face doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't do anything for you. And ultimately, I will be bearing the consequence of me not being able to regulate my own emotions, even though I am triggered by something you've done to me. Because nothing is personal. It's all about what we choose to do and how we choose to react. It is a power tool. You cannot be a bad bitch without emotional intelligence. You can't. You can be a pretty bitch, you can be a sexy bitch, but you cannot be a bad bitch without emotional intelligence. You just can't. Go vent to your friend. Don't call him and vent. He don't give a shit. That's why you venting in the first place. And it's not because he doesn't care about you. It's because he's apathetic about it, because that's not aligning with his life and what he's trying to do at the moment. Things like that is what you will learn over emotional intelligence journeys. You will figure it out. Hey, this is not really what I'm thinking. It's not, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough. It's whatever it is that you got going on doesn't align with that person's motivations right now. And then you can use your social skills to interact with people in that more healthy way. This isn't healthy, I'm not gonna interact. This is not healthy, but it could be healthy. Maybe I'm on the fence. Maybe we can see where it goes, but in a way that is healthy to me. I will yield the way that I respond and do and be in this situation in a way that is healthy. You get what I'm saying? Emotional intelligence is primary. And I feel like it's been one of my greatest gifts to become self-aware. And it's so funny because that is one of my greatest gifts and biggest takeaways out in therapy. And maybe I might do a video on biggest takeaways from therapy as a black girly. But yeah, like I just feel like it's so sexy to be able to say, this is bullshit in your head without having to tell somebody, yeah, I feel like you're getting me. I feel like that. You don't have to do that. You can call people out when it's time to call people out. Because trust me, I do that, child. But every little thing that makes you feel dysregulated or every little thing that triggers you isn't a need to go discuss it with said person who has triggered you. Whether it's a friend, an intimate interest, a parent, teacher, whatever. Sometimes some things you just need to sit on it. It's a thing that, you know, they used to say to me all my life because I've always been very reactive. And it's, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. There's a time and place for everything. time and place for everything. There is a time and place for everything. And emotional intelligence has helped me yield that power back to myself. I might want something right now. I might feel like, you know, everybody in the room need to get smacked because I feel played with, because I'm triggered. But that would be my own personal problem. That's not on everybody else. Maybe they are purposely triggering me, but maybe I knew that this was gonna happen somewhere deep inside. Maybe I made it up in my head. Maybe they're all dead wrong, but so what? I have options that I can take that do not result in me making crazy ass impulses to be able to get my point across. You feel me? So, I mean, I just kind of feel like this video was necessary to make because you can, like I said, you could be a pretty woman, you could be a strong woman, you could be a sexy woman, you could be a successful woman, you could be so many other beautiful, you know, descriptive words, superlatives even, but you cannot be an ultimate baddie. You cannot be fully functioning in your glow if you do not have emotional intelligence. Learning how to yield that power back, learning how to utilize your discretion in when and how to say something, knowing when you're too angry to be able to clearly, you know, converse with a person about something, and maybe you need to take it back to the drawing board for a little bit. Being able to stay in your softness by saying, you know what, honey, I do not understand what you're talking about, so let's not talk about it. Or can we come back to this when I'm able to chat with you? Or not even having to have certain conversations because you know what you know. Because you've asked the questions, you've done the work, you've investigated thoroughly, and you're not waiting on anybody to feed you the point because you've already been able to use your brain, which works very well, to draw conclusions that work and serve you. It saves us from so much. It saves us from so much to be able to emotionally show up for ourselves. And that's what emotional intelligence is. It also helps when we are having kids or when we're having relationships, when we are able to look at people and say, I know that you have an abandonment issue, and I know that you are doing this because you've been abandoned, and I know this is true because I've talked to you. I know who you are, and we've had this conversation before. So instead of being reactive to this, I can come back to this and tell you, hey babe, I think that you may have been a little bit crazy the other day when you said and did XYZ, and I know it's because of your abandonment issue. Or not even having that conversation and knowing in your mind this person has abandonment issues that I can't handle, so I will not deal with them. You feel me? Or my child is passing out on the floor because they want a candy bar, but I know it's because they cannot control their emotions because their frontal lobe isn't fully developed. You know what I mean? It's that. It doesn't just serve you in dating. It doesn't just serve you at work when you're like, my boss is a narcissistic prick. I'm not going to allow them to infiltrate my mind and make me feel like crap because I understand that it's a bottomless pit in there, and this isn't personal. This is more just about their personality type. I happen to work for them. Let me gray rock and try to maneuver. Instead of, I hate my job, oh, they hurt it. Falling apart at the seams because you don't know how to fully function in it. It's that. It is so many things at the grocery store, and the person behind you is being irate and understanding that they probably need a little attention because they're probably having a bad day. And deciding whether you're gonna give it to them or not. But not being so worked up on the inside that you are gonna have a bad day now because they've been able to transfer the energy. And yeah, so I went over like my journey, how I just got tired of, I just got really tired of feeling like a victim. Because I knew I wasn't a victim. I knew I was a victor. Like I was a victor. I was victorious. I knew that. But I was just so tired of feeling like a victim. Because once you take responsibility for yourself, you realize that the world not down on you. You pick in a world that's on your shoulders and it's heavy, but the world is not down on you. You know what I mean? and I decided to do something about it. And I decided to really like begin my journey of truly living in my power. And so I started my journey of emotional intelligence, going to therapy and everything like that. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that, you know, having this like quick conversation with you made sense, and that it resonated for you. Know what's going on with you, know your why, know why you move and do what you do. That will shed light on what your motivations are. That will shed light on what other people's motivations are. And it will just be a snowball effect in how you can start to gather yourself in a way that is healthy, whole, and magical for you, so that you can build relationships of all kinds with the people in your life and the people in your network. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.